one shot, they're like, oh, you gotta give it back to the loser. Gave it back to him. He gets ripped up, and they're like, that's on
Hello. We read the book An Abundance of Catherines
by John Green.
It is about a kid named Colin Singleton. He's 18 years old, and he just graduated high school, and he's obsessed with becoming a genius and having his eureka moment where he finds something like groundbreaking and something like that. He's also dated 19 girls, all by the name of Catherine, Katherine, and that becomes important later on, the spelling of it. After being dumped by Catherine number 19, him and his best friend Hassan embark on a road trip in hopes of getting his mind off of his recently ex-girlfriend, Catherine 19. They settle in a small Tennessee town where they meet a girl named Lindsay and her mother Hollis, who employ them at their first summer job, and they have like a tampon factory, and they make those there, so they work there. And throughout the summer, Colin finds himself falling for this girl named Lindsay, and continues to working on his Eureka theory called the underlying Catherine probability, which we'll talk about later. And then in the end, Colin and Lindsay both confess their love for each other, and the book ends with Colin, Lindsay, and his best friend Hassan driving away from Tennessee, and Colin finally becomes at peace with himself in his past.
Two main themes of this book, moving on and finding yourself. Colin Singleton was the type of kid who just was obsessed with dating the same girl. Had to date the same girl with the same name, and throughout the book he met a girl named Lindsay, and it forced him to move on through basically his whole childhood, because his whole childhood consisted of him dating the same girls. Finding yourself. It's because him and this kid named Hassan went on a vacation, got away from his parents, and had to get over his eureka moment.
The first quote we found was on page 15, also in chapter 3. It says, he liked Catherines, and not Katies or Cats or Kitties or Cathys or Ryans or Trinas or Kays or Kates, or God forbid Catherines with a C, but Katherine, Catherine.
Basically, this quote kind of just defines Colin, because in this book, he only dates Catherines, and he has had 19 girlfriends, and every one of them has dumped him. It's page 56, line 8. So she said you're a genius. I'm a washed-up child prodigy, Colin said. What are you good at, other than just already knowing everything? Languages, word games, trivia, nothing useful.
Alright, so the explanation behind this quote, it really lets the reader know more about like who Colin is, and like that the fact that he has low confidence, especially when he recently was dumped by another Catherine, and like he doesn't really think very highly of himself because he has low confidence.
So page 98, last paragraph. Love what? Asked Lindsay Wells as she came into the living room wearing her paisley pajamas, her brown hair pulled back in a ponytail. Colin noticed she looked different, but not quite how, and then he saw it. No makeup. She looked prettier than she ever had before. Colin always preferred girls without makeup.
This is a very crucial moment in the book because this is when Colin realizes that he has caught feelings for Lindsay, and obviously her name is not Catherine, so it's also important because it breaks his chain of only dating Catherines. And this kind of goes along with our theme with finding yourself, because he's not really worried right now about like dating another Catherine. He's just looking like to date someone that he actually likes, and this is when he realizes that he does like Lindsay.
14. Middle of the paragraph. And then a cool kid named Herbie told Hassan that this girl, Mary Caravalli, liked Colin, and since Colin had, not too long before, been dumped by Catherine 18, Colin asked Mary out on a date, because Mary, a tan Italian beauty, who would have won homecoming queen if the Calvin school did that kind of thing, was the hottest girl he had ever or would ever come across, let alone talk to, let alone date. He'd wanted to keep his Catherine streak alive, of course, but Mary Caravalli was the kind of girl you break streaks for.
Alright, this is an important time in the book because this is when Colin almost breaks his chain of dating girls by the name of Catherine. This is the first time that it's ever come up that he liked a girl other than the name of Catherine, but he doesn't actually love this girl. He just really likes the way that she looks and thinks that she's really hot, so he feels like he has to take this chance. If he did go out with this girl, it could have hugely altered the way that he acted down the line, and it may not be the same story that we have.
Okay. Page 215, second to last paragraph. And they drove on. Lindsay turned to Colin and said, "You know we could just keep going. We don't have to stop." Austin in the back leaned forward between the seats and said, Yeah, let's just keep driving for a while." Colin pressed down hard on the accelerator, and he was thinking of all the places they might go, and all the days left in their summer. Beside him, Lindsay Lee Wells' fingers were on his forearm, and she was saying, "Yeah, God, we couldn't we? We could just keep going."
Alright, this quote is really important in the book because this is the best example of Colin really finding himself. It's good because it shows that he's not worried about dating Catherine's or working on his eureka moment that he was so obsessed with early on in the book. It shows that he just wants to live his life and that he has to stop stressing over the little things. So it's a great example of him finding himself.
Blue chips. They're the best.
Alright, this quote comes from page 175 in the middle paragraph. "Shut up before I knock your goddamn teeth in," T.O.C. said angrily. Colin glanced down at his muddy shoes. "Now listen," T.O.C. continued. "They're all coming back here from Bradford in a little while. So we're all just going to sit here like a big happy family, and then when they show up, you're going to make your retarded jokes and hunch over and look like the shit-sucking pussy you are. And the same goes for you, Haas." This quote is important because it's the first time that Colin is ever confronted, in his life practically. He's never been in a fight, and he's never really been in hostile situations like this. So the way he reacts is very important. And it could also be a changing factor in the book because I don't know. Alright, the book Abundance of Catherines by John Green, it was a great book to read. It kept us interested the whole time. It had a really good plot. The things we took away from it were that you really have to try to be happy and not stress about the little things in life, kind of like he always stressed about girls and stressed about finding his eureka moment. We also learned you have to move on from things and you can't be stuck in the past for the rest of your life.
Thanks, Miss Cram. I really enjoyed your company this year.
Also, thank you.